Hello students, in the last session we have discussed list comprehension. In today's session we will discuss functions as objects. We have already studied about functions in earlier sessions. We know that functions, how functions are declared in Python and how functions are called in Python. So in today's session we will discuss functions as objects. Let's start. A function can take multiple arguments. These arguments can be objects, variables of different data types, and functions. That simply means a function can take another function as an argument as well. So we have already studied a function may take arguments of type objects or variables of type integer, float, string, etc. But even it is possible to send a function itself as an object to another function. In Python, functions are first class objects. So functions are also considered as class objects in Python. Functions have types like the regular values have types. Even functions has type. For example, the expression, if I type the type function, that is type, in bracket if I pass a function name, say we have a function factorial or fact, I'm passing the name of that function here, this will return, it will return the type as function. So even a function has a type. If I pass here a value, say 3, the type method returns type of this object 3, type of object 3, it is integer. So if I say 3.5, it will return float. Same way, if I say type and if I pass a function name, then it will return type as function. So even functions have type. Let us look at one simple example here which illustrates functions can be treated as objects. So this simple program, it is to illustrate that the functions are also treated as objects. If you look at the program, we have a method here. So def, the method name is or function name is shout, and this function is taking one argument and the argument name is text. So what we have inside the function? Inside the function we have only one statement. The statement is return, and what we are returning? The value which is received, that is text, dot upper, means whatever we have received we are converting it into uppercase, and that is returned by this function shout. Okay, the other statements in the program. So we have a print statement. Inside the print statement, if you see, we are calling this function shout. This is the definition of a function. Here we have a function call to shout, and while calling to the function we are sending a value that is hello, and when we call this function, it will call this function shout, and the value which we are passing here hello, that will be stored in text, and then we are returning the same. Text has the value that is hello, so that hello is converted into uppercase and that is written back to function call, that is here, and as this statement is included inside the print, so that written value is directly printed. So this is a simple function call here. Now the next statement, if you look at, we have one more variable here, L is equals to shout. Now if you look at this particular statement, we have assigned a function to a variable. So in Python it is possible to assign a function to a variable, and this is possible because functions are also treated like objects. So like regularly we assign a value, say a is equals to b. Similar way we have assigned the function name shout to a variable L. When you assign a function name to a variable, this will not call a function. It will not call a function shout, but it will assign the function reference to a variable L. That means both shout and L are pointing to the same function, or you can say L is now it is also treated like a function, and whether you call L or shout, both will execute the same code. For example, you can see here we have print. Now we have used this variable L as a function, and we have passed value that is hello again. Again in this case it will call the shout method, because even L is pointing to shout, or L is having the reference of shout method. So shout method can be used like an object in Python. Okay, let me execute this small code for you, and let me show you the output of this. Okay, I have already opened the idle, and the program has been typed. So as I've shown you, we have a shout method, and from this particular point we are calling the shout method by passing hello. Then shout is assigned to L, and again we are calling the shout method by using L variable, and we are passing hello. I'll just change the value. Instead of hello, I'll say hi. So let me show you the output of this. When I execute, you can see it is printing hello first, and then it is printing hi. That simply means both shout and L are calling the same function. So like we assign a regular variable value to another variable, same way even a function can be assigned to a variable, because a function is treated as object in Python. Okay, let's go back to our PPT. Okay, as we know, functions are objects. We can pass them as arguments to other functions. So functions are treated as objects. So even a function can be passed as an argument to another function. Functions that accept other functions as argument are also called as higher order functions. So this is important. The functions which accepts other functions as argument are called as higher order functions. So let's look at one example here on this higher order function. Okay, we have a similar program here. We have a function here def shout, again which is taking one argument, and again it is returning the value which is stored in text by converting it into uppercase. Then we have one more function that is whisper, and it is also taking one argument, and what it is returning is it is returning text dot to text dot lower. So that simply means it is converting it into lowercase and it is returning. Then we have a third function here that is greet, and it is taking one argument, and this argument to the third function, it is the name of a function. Okay, so it is taking an argument. What we are doing in this third function, we are simply calling a function which is stored in this func variable, and we are passing to it some text enclosed in double quotes, and whatever value written by this, it is stored in greetings, and that greeting is printed. Okay, these are three functions which are defined, and then what we have is we have a function call here, the function call that is greet. We are calling a function greet, and to this function, if you look at what we are passing here, here we are not passing a regular variable or a value. Here we are passing a function itself as an argument. If you look at shout, we are passing, so shout is our function, we are passing that as an argument to greet. Hence from this it will go to the greet function. In the greet function, this function variable will have a value that is shout. That means even this, now it is pointing to the function that is shout, and when you call function in bracket the value, this will automatically call the function that is shout, because this stores the reference of shout method, so it will call shout method directly. In second call, we have greet, we are passing the second function name here. Again in the same way, from here we are calling the greet function. Now this function, this argument has a reference of the second function, that is whisper function, so it is storing this as a reference, and again when we call it by using the function and by passing some value, this time it will not call shout, but it will call our second function, because it is storing the reference of this particular function in this particular variable. So at the end, when we execute this program, we may get output, that is, in first case it is printing, hi, I am created by a function passed as an argument. So this line, it is printed in uppercase by calling shout, and second time when we call, that is greet, by passing whisper, then it will display, hi, I am created by a function passed as a argument in lowercase letters. So this is how we can pass a function as an argument to another function. And if you look at this greet function is taking a function, another function, as an argument, and that is the reason the greet function is called as higher order function. Greet is called as higher order function because it is taking other function as argument. Okay, we will stop here today. We will continue our discussion of function as object in the next session. Thank you.